leadership of Sellout JAGMEET Singh. This is a party that...
When I'm Prime Minister, I will keep my promises.
Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
Oh, yeah.
Hey gang, what's up? Aaron, Canadian Loonie. In this one, we've got MP Michael Cooper kind of griping about the NDP Liberal coalition. He's pissed off. He had a long week. Cooper is fun to listen to though. He's pissed off. Let's take a look and a listen to why.
Rapper got the bill, and it's passing strange for a party like the NDP that has never been in government, hopefully never will be in government, that they're against members of Parliament being able to get their foot in the door to apply for a secret security clearance. I thought the NDP was all about accountability.
When I'm Prime Minister, I will keep my promises.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and while I fully respect your ruling on the scope of the amendment, at least that it is within scope on a technical basis, this really does add a whole new layer to what is a two-sentence, one-clause bill. I think it is important that we understand what the purpose and effect of the bill put forward by my colleague, Mr. Ruff, would be, because it seems, with the greatest of respect to some of my colleagues here in this committee, that it has been lost on some members. And it's not to say that concerns about protecting classified information, concerns around national security that they raised are illegitimate. They are legitimate. But they have really nothing to do with the purpose and effect of this bill if it were to come into law. And to that end, I would underscore that this two-sentence, one-clause bill would amend the Parliament of Canada Act so that every member of Parliament and senator can apply for a secret-level security clearance. Nothing more, nothing less. That's it. It doesn't in any way provide that upon making an application that the member would therefore receive the security clearance. That would be left to the government. The bill doesn't change that. In the event that the member received the secret security clearance, it wouldn't provide that they would be entitled to access any information. That would be left, again, in the control of the government, and there are protocols in place around sharing such information with persons who have a secret security clearance. And information is shared to persons who have such a designation on the basis of a need to know. So the bill doesn't impact that. It simply provides that a member can get their foot in the door with respect to the application process. And the reason there is a need for this bill is because, as it stands, members of Parliament and senators are more or less unable to get their foot in the door unless they already have a security clearance from their prior careers, such as my colleague Mr. Ruff, who has a top secret level security clearance. He has a clearance as a result of his appointment to NSICOP, but prior to that, he had such a clearance as a result of his service in the Canadian Armed Forces, and there are other examples of that. But there is something fundamentally wrong, in my opinion, that members of Parliament, 338 people, 338 Canadians elected to represent about 100,000 people that deal with matters of national security, foreign affairs, public safety, national defense, all falling within the purview of what we do as members of Parliament, are somehow unable to even get our foot in the door to apply for not a top secret security clearance, but a secret security clearance. Difference between a top secret and secret security clearance, I mean, there are several distinctions, but one key aspect is a secret security clearance does not disclose sources and methods. But it does provide a member who might have that and might have be able to establish a need to know basis upon why they would like to have access to information, some further background, further understanding, which would actually provide, in some of these issues that we have been facing on matters of foreign interference and so on, greater transparency to the member in a classified setting that could perhaps provide clarity and actually address concerns that might be raised where there isn't a basis, but the member might raise it because they can't, information that could help shed light on whatever concern they have, they don't have access to. 250,000 applications have been made in the last 10 years for a secret security clearance. 250,000. And Mr. Ruff, when he appeared to present on his bill, I asked him the question, how many secret security applications out of 250,000 have been turned down? And the number was under 10?
23.
23 out of 250,000. And somehow we have 338 members of Parliament that can't get their foot in the door, but of course ministers have security clearances, their staff have clearances, even interns in ministers' offices have clearances. But I, as a member of Parliament, representing about 125,000 people, can't even get my foot in the door. How does that make sense? It doesn't. And so all Mr. Ruff's bill would do is to say, I can get my foot in the door, and then if I made that decision, I would have really my entire life examined to determine if I was trustworthy and any other concerns or red flags. And if I passed that, then I'd have a clearance. But again, a clearance is nothing more than receiving that accreditation. But I'd still have to establish a need to know, and it would still be within the control of the government to share anything with me. I could have such a clearance and have no information of a secret, classified nature revealed to me. Now, you can have a discussion about issues and processes around how the government controls information, how it's shared, but that is, again, not the purpose of this bill. This bill has nothing to do with that. It is about as narrow in scope of a bill as one could draft, hence it being a 2-sentence, 1-clause bill. And so I would have thought that given how straightforward it is, and I would also add, given that it was in fact a unanimous recommendation of this committee that there be processes in place for members to be able to receive security clearances to better understand national security matters. And given, I think NSCOP has weighed in. This has been raised at the National Inquiry on Foreign Interference. That this bill would have gotten out of committee after one meeting, quite frankly. But we heard, I think there's some members who seem to think it's funny.
Oh, that was something else.
Oh, okay. No worries. Well, because I just don't find this very funny. I find it actually just dispiriting that, we have members insulting me. I think that just underscores the tone that we have and why this is so disappointing, because we have someone like Mr. Ruff, who has served his country in the Canadian Armed Forces for 25 years, who has a very good understanding of matters of national security, who has received a security clearance at the highest level and has held that for a number of years, who sits on NSCOP and therefore has a unique perspective as a member of Parliament. And we have certain members who don't have that background, don't have that experience, don't have that knowledge, who didn't even have the courtesy to talk to him, and table drop a bunch of sub-amendments that have nothing to do with his bill. Now, I will submit that there's one basis for that, and that is that they don't want this bill to pass. They would rather gut the bill, and it's passing strange for a party like the NDP that has never been in government, hopefully never will be in government, that they're against members of Parliament being able to get their foot in the door to apply for a secret security clearance. I thought the NDP was all about accountability. I guess now under the leadership of sellout JAGMEET Singh.
Chair? Charles?
Yeah, point of order from Ms. Matheson.
I'm really sorry that I made the member mad, but maybe he can focus back on the comments that he was going to make about the bill, as opposed to trying to insult in a sideways my leader. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Cooper, I didn't quite catch whatever exchange happened a few moments ago, but nonetheless, if you can keep your remarks, please, to the matter at hand. Thank you.
Under the leadership of Sellout JAGMEET SINGH, this is a party that
Mr. Cooper,
You were told
I
once
have a
and
point
asked
of
once
order.
kindly.
everyone knows JAGMEET SINGH is a sellout. And
okay.
Cooper?
And
All
Mr.
right.
Chair, going back to the sub-amendment.
Mr. Cooper, I have the floor now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to suspend so that everybody can catch their breath, maybe have some water, maybe a bite to eat, maybe use the washroom, and we'll see where we get when we come back from that suspension.
Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, was that a filibuster by the Conservatives? Does MP Michael Cooper, a cowboy from Alberta, have a point to make? Sounds like it maybe is the case. I'm Aaron, Canadian Looney. Like, subscribe, share, get notified, all those fun things. It does help the channel, and come and watch one of the live shows. We watch this stuff daily. That's it. Thank you for watching this video. Catch you next one.